Hey there, it's Kathy House with Be Creative with Kathy. Okay, I had a little bit of trouble connecting with Facebook later, but it looks like I'm okay now. So I have a really cute card for you today, and there's a lot of pieces and parts, so don't forget you can go to my blog becreativewithkathy.com, and all the measurements will be on there, as well as a supply list of what I used for today's card. So if you watch my videos, you saw that and sorry, I can't good again. Okay, dang it. Anyway, and so I got into a swap where there's a Stampin' Up event later this month, and I got into a swap and I wanted to make kind of a wow card, so I chose to make this card. And if you look here, you can take this little wingamadingle. This is the bookmark, and that's why it's called a bookmark card. But when you take the bookmark off, it still looks like a cute card that you can send out. So that's what I'm going to show you how I make today. So thank you, first of all, Bev, for swapping with me. And then Bev said she got this idea from Karen Titus, the lady on the porch. I'm sorry, Karen and Tim, I think. But anyway, so thank you for sharing that too. And to be honest with you, I didn't even go back to see Karen, if Karen did a video or anything like that. I just decided I was going to show it to you. I have one more to make for my swap, and I thought I'd share with you how I made it today. Okay, so we're done. Like I said, no, I said that in the first video because we're starting again. It has a lot of pieces and parts, so if you need the measurements, you can visit my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. All the measurements and a supply list will be on there. And then if you're interested in getting into the supplies, all you have to do is click on the link of supply, and it'll take you straight to my online store. So there you go. Also, the link will be in the description below. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a piece here. Here we go. We'll just talk about pieces that we're going to use. Really, the piece of, this is thick, basic white. I wanted something sturdy for the bottom of my card. And then I took a piece of Night of Navy, and I ran it through this 3D emboss folder, the painted texture. I like this one. That's the same thing that Bev did too. So it looks like that, all nice and embossed. If you're not sure how to work an embossing with the embossing folders or a die cut machine, there's lots of videos out there. You can go back to my videos. I'll show you how to use it, and you can always look on YouTube or Pinterest, and they have places there. Okay, I'm going to just quickly, since we have the two pieces here, I'm going to go ahead and put this together. And then that way, maybe I won't lose it. Yeah. So I do know that these pieces, the Whisper, or I'm sorry, we don't have Whisper White, basic white thick is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So it's just a quarter sheet of cardstock. And then this layer here is just 1/4 of an inch smaller, so it's 5 1/4 by 4. There you go. It's not a card base, it's just like a postcard kind of style. Okay. Then let's do some stamping now, okay? So I have that ready, and then I have a piece here of basic white. Oh, see, I'm not going to get all my pieces. I can't remember all the pieces because we're going to stamp on all of these. This one is a scrap, and this one is a scrap. This one we just need to take a 2-inch circle. Now, you can get a 2-inch circle on my online store. It's not in any catalog from Stampin' Up. They're only available online. So you can find that at my online store. And I'm actually going to punch that first before I stamp it, because we're using photopolymer stamps, and you can see right through them. So it's easier to get where I want it if I stamp that first. Okay, so I'm going to use Night of Navy ink first, which just coordinates with our cardstock, which coordinates with our designer series paper. And I'm going to bring in that stamp set. Really, I'm going to bring in the bundle, that's my handle, of that Country Bouquet. Now, the Country Bouquet is a punch bundle, so it has that cute little heart and leaf punch that goes with it. But I'm going to start with the words here that say, I love that we are friends. And I'm going to stamp those at the bottom of my circle here in that Night of Navy ink. Now, the trick for dark colors like this is you got to give them a little bit extra time to dry. First of all, my ink pad has a lot of ink on it, so I barely have to tap here. And then I'm going to just set it down on my paper and let that ink sink in. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I don't have to because there's a lot of ink on my ink, and let it dry. Sometimes those darker colors need more time, I think, to sink in. Here, and this I believe is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, but like I said, you got to check my blog to make sure I'm right. And then this is from the Go-To Greetings, one of my favorite stamp sets. I'm going to just stamp a little happy birthday. This is going to be the inside of our card. Ooh, and this is not photopolymer. This is red rubber, so I don't want that extra padding in there. And this one I have an edge, or you have a tendency to get the edges, so I'm going to tap here very lightly on my ink pad and then hopefully get it straight here without a lot of pressure going straight up and straight down. You don't want to add a lot of pressure anyway, because that happy birthday has that fine line, and we don't want to smash the red rubber and make it like look bulky or dirty. We just want a fine little stamp there. So that's our happy birthday. And I think we are done with the Night of Navy. Excuse me. So let's bring in some of that boho blue. This is one of our new in colors, and I'll be honest with you, I am a fan of blue, but that's a really pretty blue. And I need a scratch piece of paper. I'm going to bring our pad back in for the photopolymer. And this heart here, part of the stamp set, I'm going to just decorate the inside of my card with a little bit of stamping. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to stamp it off once here because I want it light behind my happy birthday, and then just stamp that like that. So now we have the inside of our card done stamping. We'll do some more to that. Oh, before I put that away though, we need to go, we're going to use this stamp here and make some flowers to go on the front of our card. Those aren't flowers, those are hearts. Oh brother. So with this stamp, I'm going to make sure that the small stamp, or the small heart, come on Kathy, it must be Monday, is at the bottom. I'm going to ink it up and just place it. This is just a scrap piece of paper, and I made sure that it was tall enough for both to stamp it twice, and not very wide, because this punch has leaves that go here, and I don't want those on my card, and I don't want to waste paper. So I'm not going to worry about as wide as the punch is, but this way I can get 2 of those sets of hearts. Okay, now are we done? I believe we are done stamping. Okay, let's go ahead and punch these out, and then I think we'll have everything almost ready to go ahead and put our card together, and I'll show you how I made, or how we fold that little bookmark. So there's our 2 hearts. And then you have a piece that looks like this, to see the leaves wouldn't punch out, but we don't need those. And if you're making a bunch of these, which I was doing, that helps when you have that long piece, then you kind of have a good something to hang on to as you're punching out your pieces. Okay, we have that and that. I think we're good. So this is a piece of Night of Navy, the same that we did for the front. This is just a 1/4 inch bigger than what I called my inside piece. So this would be 3 inches by 4 inches. And with just a little bit of tape runner here, or stamp and seal, I'm going to put this and layer this on there for a nice mat. Oh, I haven't done that yet. I want to take a little bit of scrap of that designer series paper that we're going to use for our bookmark and put it in the corner here. So I took a square. This was 1 1/4 inch square, and then I just cut it diagonal, but that's like the perfect size to put in that little corner. And I'd like to have done it before I put it on the blue, but it won't matter. I'm going to just take that same tape runner here, and I'm using my silicone mat, because that way if I get off the paper, the tape runner won't stick to the silicone mat, and then that way I can get the edges of my corner here. I hope that made sense of the little triangle. Then I'm going to put this just down in there. Now that'll be the inside of the card. I'm going to just take this and fold it in half. This is basic white. Let's see if I can remember the size of this. It must be 6 1/2 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it at 3 1/4. That sounds probably about right. I don't know for sure. Like I said, you need to go to my blog and find them there. I'm going to take this piece and go ahead and put it in the inside. And that fits perfect in there. Then I have a little strip of designer series paper, and like I said, this is a 5-inch square, and you get 4 of those out of a 12 by 12, and then you have these little scraps left that you can use to decorate your cards. So this is 1 inch, and I cut mine by 3.5, which is a little bit bigger than what I needed, but then I could cut it down to my card size, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a piece of that Knight of Navy again, and this is about 1 1/4 by that 3.5, and I'm going to just take that designer series paper and lay it on there, and then let's put some adhesive on the back, and I'm going to make sure I get the edges because I'm not quite sure where I'm going to cut it off from the edge of my card, and I want it to go all the way across. So I'm going to just guess and lay it straight across here. Let's see if that looks straight. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Like this. And then this is where I'm going to just take my paper snips here, and I'm going to turn it over and trim it down to size. And there we go. Just like that. Okay, so now let's take this piece, and I'm going to take a little bit stronger adhesive. I'm going to use tear and tape. Excuse me, on the back of this. I don't know how everybody else feels, but lately I have a frog in my throat, a little bit of a scratchy throat, and I'm not feeling 100%, and I blame my husband. I think he brought that on, but anyway, you'll have to excuse my voice. I got a little bit of tear and tape on the back. This is going to make it stick nicely to that card because this is bearing all the weight or whatever. Take those backs off of there. There we go. And I'm going to lay this right here on the front of that base, that postcard kind of base that we made. So that'd be our card there, and then it'll open up like this. Okay, excuse me. So let's go ahead. We need 2 more things though before I go on. We need a couple punches with Knight of Navy. So I'm going to just take a scrap here in Knight of Navy, and I have that new 2 3/8 inch circle punch. Now this comes in a bundle with a stamp set called Circle Sayings, and if you watch my video, you've seen me use this quite a few times. I love that stamp set. But I'm going to just punch out a circle here, and then I have that decorative circle here. Let's see, I got lots of punches here. Here it is. And I'm going to punch out one of those decorative circles also to decorate my card. Okay. Now I think we have all of our pieces and parts, and we're ready to assemble our bookmark. So like I said, this is a piece of 5-inch, well, it's a square. It's 5 by 5 of designer series paper. And the first thing I want to do is decide which side do I want. I think I'm going to put the stripes. And I might be sorry, but then I can just turn it over and change my mind and fold it the other way. But I'm going to first fold corner to corner. Get my bone folder here and get a nice crisp corner to corner. And then I'm going to fold it in half, edge to edge. And then I'm going to turn it and go edge to edge again. So if we had the edge to edge this way, now I'm going to go edge to edge this way. So we went corner to corner once, and then edge to edge or side to side. So it looks like this, and it folds like this. Almost remember those cootie eaters, cootie snatchers, whatever we used to call a long time ago. Anyway, when I was a kid. So it folds like that. Now I have 2 squares that don't have any folds in them, and I like it that way. I'm going to go ahead, and I can see better the score lines this way. I'm going to cut out one of those squares that has no fold in it. And I'm going to make sure that I cut, like if this is my square, I'm going to cut on the outside of my fold line, or my score line there. So, well, I'll show you why in just a second. But I want to make sure that I cut that whole score line away. Okay, so I have that square, and really what I normally would do is use that square to make this piece on the inside, because this is just a scrap you can use for another project. But now you notice that since I cut those score lines totally away, when I take my paper now, I'm going to fold it this way and then this way, and it folds flat because the edge here is gone, like it has room to fold, and that was by cutting those score lines away. I hope that makes sense. But then I'm going to fold it over and over. I'm going to put some tape here. And I'm not going to spare the adhesive because I really want to make sure that it stays, like my fingers are all stuck. And then one here at the top. But I want to make sure that this stays for my bookmark. So then we have a little triangle that has a little pocket like this. And that is our bookmark. Okay, so this is the thicker side because this is 2 layers. This is the thinner side. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it up just a little bit and leave a nice border here. I don't know exactly what size that border is. Just eyeball it. And you go like that. And then let's use that bone folder again. And then look how pretty so far our bookmark is. So then on my card, I took this Night of Navy, and this is the bordered ribbon. I was shocked at how pretty this ribbon really is. It has a nice shimmer to it, but I took about 3 inches of that ribbon, and I'm going to take just a little bit of sticky strip, tear and tape. It was sticky strip a long time ago. It must be a flashback there I had. And I'm going to just put a little bit at the end of my tape, and then tape that backing off. And then I'm going to fold it in half. Now when you put that tear and tape there on your ribbon, it makes it nice and really sturdy. And see how I have this fraying? I'm going to cut that. Let's see if these, I don't see my ribbon scissors. Usually I have a pair of scissors that's just for ribbon. Yep, that's not going to work. Where are my ribbon scissors? Oh, those will work. Looky there, those are nice scissors. Okay. And trim that end, and now with that tear and tape being on there, it won't fray anymore. Okay, now we're going to take our bookmark and we're going to unfold it where we folded it, folded it, and I'm going to put some tear and tape along the top here, and then take that backing off, and then I'm going to put some tear and tape along here. Now you could go past the score line just a little bit, it wouldn't matter, or I guess it's a fold line here, because we're going to fold it back and cover that up, but try to stay somewhat close to that fold line when you put your tear and tape down, because we don't want the adhesive to show. Well, I can't get a hold of that, there we go, on the other side. So when we put our bookmark, it's going to be like this, so we want our ribbon right here. I'm going to just take that and set that so it has just a little bit. Now you notice I haven't pressed it down, but so it has just a little bit sticking up at the top there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some more tear and tape on top of that ribbon. And this way, when they tug on that ribbon to, to pull on their bookmark, there's no way that ribbon is going to come loose. We'd hate for that to happen. And that's just reinforcement back here. I'm sure if you didn't worry about it, you could skip that part. But like I said, I don't want them to pull on that ribbon and have it come loose, so I put extra tear and tape back there. And then just fold this over. And now if you notice, like my bird is facing the wrong way and stuff, but don't worry about that. We're going to cover most of that up. Okay, so then that decorative punch that we punched out, I'm going to put some adhesive on just half of it. About like that, and then I'm going to lay that in here looking at my edges here, and I want the edge of my decorative circle to be close to the edge of my designer series paper. Can you see where I put that? And then I'm going to put that down. Now if you have adhesive showing this way, that's fine. You just don't want any adhesive on the inside here, because this of course is where you're going to slip it onto the page of your book. Okay, then we're going to take this one and we're going to cover it all. Now this is the one that we stamped with I love that we are friends. I'm going to cover that with adhesive, and then I'm gonna my bookmark to go this way. I'm gonna place this, and I'm gonna just check to make sure it's centered nicely in that decorative circle. So we have that layer there too then. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the corner of my card where I want it, and I'm gonna add this with adhesive all over the back. And now when I place it on my card, making sure that my bookmark is all the way in, I'm gonna slide it under there and make it look nice under this layer here. So then we have another layer there, like that. And you take the bookmark and you have this layer here, and you have your bookmark there. So let's just add these little hearts. I'm going to use my silicone mat. Oh, here it is. Again, so I don't get any adhesive on my desk here. And just set that big heart that we punched and stamped right there, and then one of those little hearts over here on the other side. So look how cute our little bookmark gift is now. But now we need to decorate this circle. So I'm going to take the big heart with just a little bit of adhesive, and I'm going to place it up here in the corner, like about there. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on there because I want to make sure that my bookmark covers it, and it does. So now I'll put a little pressure, make sure it's stuck down, and then put a little other heart on there so it looks something like that. And then when we cover it with our bookmark, it's just a nice surprise there when you get your little card. Isn't that cute? Okay, last thing we want to do is we got to put some kind of little embellishment on there. I love these little iridescent pearls, and I'm going to use the small one because I don't want a lot of bulk on my bookmark, but I'm going to use my take a pick tool here. I'm going to slide and lift and just put a little pearl right there on that little heart. And tell me, is that not adorable? So thank you, Bev, for swapping. Thank you, Karen, for the idea. And you have a great little card that's a present too. So let me show you again. So this was Bev's, done with that Berry Burst, which is a great in color, great new color. Wasn't in color, now it's a new color. And of course, this was that Countryside Designer Series paper. And if you look here, here's another pattern of the paper that I made. This is another pattern, and this one. So those are what I'm making for my swap. I think the people that get my swap will be very happy. Like I said, if you need the measurements, you can go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. The link will be below, and if you wanted the products, you just click on the product from my blog and it'll take you straight to my online store. Alrighty, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next week. Take care. Bye-bye.